If you had to describe yourself in 3 words today, what would they be? You take some time.
Grounded.
Grounded. Wow.
Grounded. Learning.
Learning. That's a very good one.
Taking one day at a time.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love taking one day at a time. What's one thing that brings you joy no matter what's going on in your life?
At the moment, it's my son.
Oh,
It's my son.
okay. The last one, don't worry, there are not many. If you could have a coffee chat with your younger self, ready? If you could have a coffee chat with your younger Kristen, what's the first thing you would tell her?
You are loved.
Oh,
You are loved.
you are loved by who?
By yourself.
Oh,
By God.
yes. You would tell her, I love you.
Let go back and I love you. God loves you, and that is all that matters. That is all.
Very beautiful words. Tell us about your journey, about you coming to Dubai. What really inspired you? I remember that call, I think I had a chat with your friend.
Yes.
Was it Viola? Yeah, Viola, that lovely friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to come to Dubai?
One, I think I love traveling, but I love traveling.
Okay.
It's one of the things, and I've always had this of I want to live outside Uganda.
Okay.
It's one of the things that I've always had on my mind. So the first time I came to Dubai was I think 2020. I came to Dubai as a tourist first.
2020.
I think around 2020 for 2 weeks around Christmas, and then I came alone. Was alone, and somehow I managed to maneuver around by myself, and I loved the country.
Okay.
I loved everything. I think the metro was my highlight.
The metro.
Like the ease to get from one place to another, and the transport system generally. If I leave home, there's a bus at this time. If I miss it, the next bus is at this time. It was very different from home. So, and I think going back home, I went back home with a made-up mind of, okay, if I am to move, and this is why I'll move, because one, the process moving here wasn't hard. It's not as complicated as if you need to go to Europe, then bring a bank statement, bring this, bring that. It was as easy as pay, tourist visa, and you move.
And you're gone, and you're in Dubai.
Yeah, so I went back home. I remember I struggled because I was still working then. So it took me about 6 months to decide to resign from the job I had then and move. So I started struggled with the decision, typed a resignation letter, type and don't send, then delete. And then you're like, but am I really doing the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am moving, but I'm living a secure job. And then I'm moving into a foreign land. I don't know anyone. I don't have a job there. Am I crazy or? But I would say I'm one of those risk takers.
Which is a good thing. I think it's the journey of growth.
Yeah. So I was like,
let me do it anyway.
let me do it. If it fails, it fails. I'll know I tried. So I don't have to live here saying I wish I had tried. I'll say, okay, I tried and it worked out. If it works out, what if it works out?
What if it works out? I love that. Most of the times we always think of it won't work out.
Yeah.
But what if it does actually? Okay, so you landed in Dubai and...
before I came, that is actually how... I had watched your videos on YouTube.
Nice. Thank you.
For, I think, the story about the loss of your fiancé. That was one of the videos that got me there, and then you talked of your journey about Dubai. So around that time, I started searching about people who had moved to Dubai without jobs.
Specifically, people who have moved without jobs.
Without jobs, and okay, how did they maneuver? How did they survive? Trying to understand, okay, what am I getting into? Yes, I tried to get in touch with people who are already here, and we're talking about it with Violet. Violet, unless you wherever you are now.
Oh, she's such a sweet one.
Yeah. So she's like, I have this friend of mine, Charity. And then I'm like, is it the same Charity I've been watching?
So you watched the videos before Violet told
Before,
you?
yeah.
Wow.
So when she told me, I was like, wait. So she said, I'm like, what's her second name? She's like, I'm like, okay, so this is actually the person, you know, like some people will say the universe is aligning. I'll say God is aligning.
Okay, yeah.
So like you literally see God is keep bringing you the people that you will need. So that's how I got in touch. I was like, okay, if we move, I think I was asking you how the job
I remember
searches
that
are.
call, yeah.
And then I asked several other people, and then I was like, okay, let's just do this. What if it works out actually? So yeah. Then 6 months later, I resigned, served my notice, took a 1 month break. After 1 month, packed my 2 bags. I usually tell people I had all my life packed in 2 suitcases.
That's how Dubai life. You always pack your... I don't think I had 2 cases. I think I had only 1.
Yeah, so like, this is it. Like, there's no turning back.
Sometimes you get lost in that, what if it works out, what if it doesn't, and then you end up saying, okay, let me do it anyway. Yeah? Okay, so you land in Dubai, fast forward, you get the job. How long did you take to get the job? I don't remember very well.
I think about 4 months.
Tell me about your journey about self-discovery and self-love in Dubai. Like, what can you talk about those two?
I recently had a chat with a friend of mine, like someone, I would call her like my accountability partner. I was like,
Okay.
if God asked me to leave Dubai now, I would leave, because I feel like my journey to Dubai, besides my adventure bit of it, was like something that was used to make me face myself, like come to reality with things I had been running away from. Like, because even in the adventure, like literally you're running away from, you don't want to deal
You
with
don't want
stuff.
to deal with them,
So
yeah.
like, I'll keep moving. And then we're talking and I'm like, I think I am glad I came to Dubai. I am glad for the things that didn't work out and for the ones that worked out, because when I look back at the past 3 years, there is a me that would have never gotten to this level if I stayed back home.
Oh my God. Tell us about that. Like, I love that part and I want to learn honestly about that. What was behind that journey? Like, what do you feel made you come to that realization?
The birth.
It's okay.
Dunyangole has come into that.
It's alright, it's part of it.
Yeah, the birth of my son
Okay.
made me realize a lot of things. It wasn't a journey that was that, it's not a journey I prepared for. It's not a journey I planned for. It just happened along the way. And I keep telling myself, giving birth to that boy saved my life in a way.
Okay.
Because that things I had been running away from. Like, you know, there's, you know, something is not okay with you. Like, there are things on the outside, people see that strong you. Like, yeah, it's
I know
strong.
that part. Yeah,
it's
she got it all.
She gets it done. She speaks up. And actually, most people believe she's very confident. And I'm like, yes, I'll show you I'm confident if I need to. But then you realize you're living, like you're wearing a mask. Like at the end of that day, when that day ends, you go back home and realize, okay, I was strong, but am I really strong?
Am I really strong? Wearing a mask, I love that, because when we are raised up from home as an African woman, in general, they think you have to be strong. Not they think, but we are raised up in a way to be strong and we're supposed to go and stand up. But I love that wearing a mask. What mask do you think you were wearing?
The one of she's confident, the one she's strong.
Okay.
Because when I look back now, I acted strong. I was trying to be strong.
Okay.
So that people don't see the broken parts of you.
Okay.
You're strong because you had no one being strong for you.
Oh.
So
you are strong because you have no one being strong for you.
So you wear the mask of I am strong, and then my sister would say like you're protecting her, but it's because you've not been protected, so you start loving people from the place of I am doing for them the things I would have wanted someone to do for me.
Yeah, I love that. You forget about yourself.
Exactly.
You replace yourself with the other people.
Yeah.
That is so typical of us.
You become the superhero of everyone else, but you.
The hero of everybody else. I love that.
Yeah. So people knew the strong me, people knew the confident me, but behind that, when you'd go back home in your room, that is when the mask goes off.
Yeah.
Like, I am not strong. You have these abilities, you have these gifts, but you cannot even go ahead and do anything on them.
Look at you right now, you're sharing your story. That's part of it.
Yeah, that's part of the healing journey, because if you asked me to do this maybe 1 year ago, I wouldn't.
But wait, why do you think 1 year ago you wouldn't? What would be in your mind?
Yeah, because sometimes the parts of our stories we don't want people finding out. So you're like, my life doesn't even matter that much. No one would be interested. And then you see the ugly sides of you, and you're like, I don't want that one out. Like, you're held. I call them chains of shame and guilt.
Chains of shame and guilt. You're like, people think I'm strong. How do they see me sharing this?
Like, people have known you to be this strong, this church girl, this. And
Church girl. Church girl. How could she declare the winner?
No, it's how. It's not even possible. And then I'm like, I know the public face and the private face, so.
Because I think when I started to share about my story, some people see us as if we overshare.
Yes.
But they forget the purpose of it. Like me sitting down and talking about your life, it's more about the intention behind. That is my focus. Now, when you talk about chains of shame and guilt, you're still guilty, right? But when you open up, somehow that chain breaks.
It keeps breaking.
It keeps on breaking the more you share about it. All right. So when you talk about your son being the reason you kind of realized yourself and you're in the process of healing. And by the way, healing doesn't stop. It just elevates. You heal some parts of you, then you elevate more challenges. There's this book I read where they say that the reward for overcoming a challenge is a bigger challenge. So you keep on healing and healing. Do you think your son playing in the part of you healing, does your relationship have to do with it?
To take you back a bit, because I sat, like, after, like, I've been on that healing journey.
Okay.
And then I'm realizing it wasn't actually a relationship.
Oh.
Sometimes we label things the things they are not. We assume. There's this thing I was reading, I don't know who said it, I think it was like something on Instagram, make sure the person you're claiming to be in a relationship with is
in a relationship with. It's more like calling a best friend when actually that best friend you're not the best friend.
You're not the best friend. It cannot, it can't.
Yes, it doesn't.
It will be one-sided. Because I realized on the journey of healing, you go back, I am learning to take myself out of the experiences, like
take yourself
out of the experience and look at it like
without you,
like an independent party. Like you have a conversation, and then when you go back home, take yourself out of that conversation and then look at the conversation. What did I say?
Like, how do you what?
Why did I say that? Why did I react like that?
I've done that.
Was that the right thing to do? So I went back. I'm like, okay, let's look at this. What happened exactly? Because if you don't face some of those things, you will keep repeating the same mistakes.
The same mistake.
The cycle will continue. It will never end, and you'll never know what the issue was. So you have to be very honest with yourself. You need to have those sit-down conversations.
Yes, proper
alone.
ones. Yeah.
No phones, nothing, with yourself, and be very honest as you can be.
You're sitting in and you're looking at that situation and you're looking at Kristen in that relationship. Are there things you discovered?
Yeah, because one, how I got in, it was a time, I think that I'm, like, you come to Dubai, one, it's not like you have family here, so you're basically alone. I remember how I told you, you've been wearing this mask of I am strong, so you think you're strong for anything that will come, like, I can handle this.
I can handle this.
I can handle this, until one thing breaks you. And then you realize, no, I was never strong. So I think around that time, because then the visas were like 3 months. So the months are ending. I don't have a job yet. But then there's this person who was a friend.
They're always there in Dubai. Many. Saviors.
There was always this friend, I respected person, and so most of the times when I would be frustrated, I go to their place. Because this is like the one friend you trust, and you cannot keep bringing meat close to the fire and you think...
Meat close to, you think it won't burn?
It will definitely burn. So yeah, so then you realize, okay, now I have crossed boundaries. I had no business crossing in the first place. So now automatically you start assuming like there's a relationship. So you start calling it a relationship when it actually is not.
So you have this thing called a relationship, but it's actually a situation.
It's actually a situationship, not a relationship.
Does the other person, do you think the other person was very clear of what it is?
No, because there's been conversations, because now there's a child involved, and then you have to find ways to resolve, or I don't know what to call it, dissolve or amicably end things, because there's another human now involved. So you get talking and realize, no. And then the thing is, you saw those things, you saw what they would say, the red flags. You saw the things were there, because when someone is sure, they will let you know. When someone is sure about you, you will be sure.
And they always communicate the right things. And we have things we wish in the mind most of the times when we are in those relationships.
But then also, given that I was coming from a place, at that time I was in a place where I had not dealt with the voids that I had.
Yes.
The pains, the wounds that I still had. So you look at this person and you're thinking, if they walk away now, what happens? Yeah. So you're not actually like loving this person from a place of love, but you're just you're filling in a void. Like there's a void in you that you haven't dealt with. So, and somehow you feel like this person is filling this lonely void. Because it was just loneliness, there's nothing else. Like for me, when I zero it down, I was lonely, I was getting depressed about my job search, and then
this happened.
That happened. And that was it. So, and that goes back to, wow, you asked me how you, about self-love.
Yeah.
That time I realized I didn't love myself enough, because if I did love myself enough, I would not have been crossing lines that I had no business crossing. When the signs came, I would have accepted. Someone said when you see, how do they say it? Like you see the red lights, and then you're thinking they will change into green anytime soon.
We always have those voices, especially I think it's where we grow from, because we tend to have uncommunicated expectations. Exactly. We tend to think, you know how you grow up, say, pray for this man, he will change. So we always look at the change that's happening before it's actually happening. You know those voices that you had, like this conversation now that you're talking about, you're having in your healing journey. We never have those. And that also is the root of you not discovering yourself. Exactly. Where are you actually in this whole thing? Yeah.
You want to become the Jesus Savior of everyone, and I think it's a thing that most women have. I may be wrong, but I think it's mainly with the women.
It's mostly.
We think we can change people, but you cannot change anyone.
Be specific. Men.
Exactly.
We always think.
Mainly, I can change. I can pray. Then no.
Fasting and praying, and these churches, I think sometimes they have done more harm than good.
They've done pray, fast. I am not undermining the role and place of prayer and fasting.
Definitely.
But if at the beginning you actually see certain things, don't even waste, just go eat your food. say bye to that person.
You need to sit down and say,
You know what? No,
the shit is not working.
it's not working, because I mean, only God can change people. Only God changes people. Because I think even for the married people, you're already married. There are things about the spouse you cannot change. You cannot. The best you can do for them is pray and hope that they will change. But here you are. You still have the option to walk away, and then you're having the Jesus Savior mentality. You cannot change them. People will change when they are willing and when they want to change.
When they are willing, and that is self-discovery. Even the other person probably is in that journey. He's not yet. And sometimes I feel like these men or people, I don't want us to focus on men. It's not men again. It's not women again. It's a men conversation. But sometimes I feel like for them, the way they think, they already know what they want. But for us, we put them into a place where they are not yet. Yeah. The point of walking away.
The point of walking away is you realize some things are not. It's not like it's not for you. It's and then the other party is already showing you. They call it shege.
Shege.
But
That's
and then they're moving on the opposite direction. So there is no point. And I think at that point, I had now gotten into the journey, because after giving birth, I got is it called what? Postpartum depression. Yeah, and I did know, I had read about it before, so I knew some women get it. But with my background of I am strong, that is why
this is just
it's not
the
for
devil.
Me. It's not for me.
You didn't say it's the devil.
No, I didn't say it's the devil.
You're lucky.
I just never thought it would be me. I just didn't think it would be for me, and then I didn't. Actually, what made it hard, I didn't recognize it. The signs were there, but I didn't fully understand it, because that is the same time a lot of things were going on. I had to make decisions. That is the time there's this whole confusion. Is this a relationship? Is it not? So the things wasn't for me until one time I was like, wait, why all of a sudden, yes, there's this happening on this side, but why am I feeling the way I am feeling? So I went back. Actually, I was in and out of hospital. And then one time I sat with this guy, and she actually asked me, how are you doing?
Oh.
How are you feeling? What's going on? When did this start? So I explained to her what's happening, how my body feels, and then she's like, this is postpartum depression. And I'm like, okay. So now I accepted.
Accepting, the point of accepting.
Yeah, you accept. You let go of this, I am strong. I think that when I say the birth of my son was my second salvation, to say. Yeah, now
sometimes the salvation comes in a hard way, I always say everything that we go through is valid. However much we feel like this is my mistake and all that, when God says He knew you before you were born, and in your mother's womb, He knows all the experiences. And sometimes to sit with your experiences and say, I remember asking myself, what did I do? I was a good girl, I was a church girl. All of a sudden, 21, 2 weeks pregnant, the guy is murdered. And I'm like, what did I do? That self-satisfaction where you think nothing can happen to me is when actually things happen, but it's part of the process. Yeah.
But in a way, I'm still glad I got that. I have come to a place where I'm learning to thank God for those valley moments. Because man, if you don't have those valley moments, I don't know. Maybe
you don't
grow from on trees or something. But those valley moments, and then also how you treat your valley moments determine whether you grow or you stay in the same side.
You choose.
You get to choose. In that moment, you have a choice. Because if you don't, that cycle will keep repeating itself until you wake up and you're like, okay, the last time this happened, this is how I responded. How can I respond better to get out of this? So for me, that is when now the whole journey of self-discovery and healing happened. I was like, okay, I got into this because I was lonely. But at the back of that loneliness, what else was happening in my heart?
What else was happening?
why wasn't I loving myself enough? And then it went back to so many years of the things the lies I had believed about myself, of people telling you you're not good enough. Nothing good is going to come out of you. And these are people that you love. This is family. Not my mother, obviously. But this is family.
But people that you meet.
This is family. For me, it was family. Because I think at some point, the outsiders, whatever you say, didn't matter. Because that damage had already been done by people I valued. Because me, I valued whether my aunties or uncles, I put them up there.
You felt like they're your hiding place.
Because one, I didn't grow up with my father. So my uncles were like the father.
Yeah.
And then when people say things that cut right through your heart.
And the people you trust.
The people that you trust. And then they don't even turn around and accept that
they've done it.
They've done.
Oh no, they're elders. But
the damage they do to you, you may not see the results in 1 year, in 2 years, but it will come out.
Of course.
It will come out. And when it comes out, it will be bad. So for me, I'm glad I got to go back in time and find when did I start not believing in myself? When did I start being strong for everyone else except me? Because I grew up in a place I wasn't being protected. I had someone would call it like emotional abuse, of you have words, negative words being thrown at you. I was telling you before we started recording, I was telling you I came wearing a skirt. I finally made peace with wearing skirts because of what used to be said about my body whenever I would wear skirts. Of your bum is flat.
And then the person telling you that
your bum is flat, so you have the business. People don't understand why I wear pants a lot, but that was.
But I don't see any problem.
Yeah, but because I was young, so whatever I was told, it kept. So I believed those things.
We have to be mindful.
So now you have to. So you get into a place, and then you will have. That is how people get into the wrong relationships also.
Because they're looking for a safe place.
You're looking for a safe place.
To tell you something.
You're looking for someone to validate you. You're looking for someone to accept you and to tell you I love you. Like something. It may be as simple as I love you, but it's actually not that small.
To look for and say I love your lips, your eyes, your arms, just to validate you, and everyone is looking for that.
Everyone is looking for that. And now if it's been a void in you, in your heart, somehow when you get into these all wrong things, you give those people power over you. Because you feel like, okay, if this person is validating me, then if they tell me wear your hair blue, I need to wear the hair blue, even if that blue looks ugly on you.
You've given your power.
Yeah, you've given away your power to someone else. So for me, it was important, like that postpartum depression led to a lot of things. So I had to go back to maybe 10, 15 years, dig up things from past relationships, from how I related to people, how I treated myself. Because I realized I love traveling, yes, but sometimes I would travel to run away.
You had a reason. It wasn't more like, I want to do it, but I'm doing it because of this.
I need to run away. But if you're not healed, if your heart is not healed, because wherever you go, you'll find yourself. Wherever you will go, you will find yourself. So even if you travel to 100 countries, if you've not dealt with the things,
you will keep traveling.
You will keep traveling. You're depressed in Uganda. You're depressed in Dubai.
Even US, UK. People say, I think when I go here, I'll be fine.
No.
You first have to find
yourself. You have to. I was reading this book. I showed you the book. I was reading The Garden Within, Dr. Anita Phillips.
Yeah.
And she perfectly describes the heart. How the heart relates to your spiritual life, to the way you treat yourself, the way you, for me it's been like the way you would love yourself, because everything comes from your heart, your emotions. If your heart is full of stuff you've not dealt with,
they will show up.
They'll show up.
You
cannot keep running away. And then she says this thing, I read it today and it was so powerful. Pain avoided is pain multiplied.
Oh. Pain avoided is pain multiplied.
Exactly.
I can imagine how many times people avoid pain. After 10 years is when they recognize. But actually, that day that they recognize is just a multiplication of the many pains that
It has multiplied, it has grown, given
That's
birth,
so
and it even has
powerful.
kids now.
What was the hardest part? What was the hardest truth to deal with?
The hardest part for me, I think, was recognizing the parts I also played in failing myself.
Oh my God, that's hurting.
Yeah, because yes, you have issues that you didn't deal with, so they've contributed to a whole lot of the things you're doing. But then also you have to be honest. What part did I play? What is it in me that has also driven away the good people? Not just in dating relationships, but even in your own life, the friendships, the people around you. What is it about you that you have to admit you're doing wrong? And for me, I tried therapy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but after like 3 sessions.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh my God, I've been looking for somebody who tried therapy before.
I stopped after it was helping, but then after the 3rd session, I realized we were not aligning in a way, because I am Christian. I don't believe in certain practices. She would tell me that the spirit pig, and I'm like, when she started that is when I was like, God,
we're finished.
I was like, God, no. Thank you for the sessions I have had.
This is not my portion.
This is not my portion until I find someone that aligns with my beliefs. I'm going to depend on the Holy Spirit.
And it's really bad that we don't have a lot of Christian therapists.
Because the church does not believe in therapy.
Because we are supposed to be strong, we're supposed to pray about everything.
We should pray. Prayer is good. Prayer works. But if you can afford to go to therapy, please go to therapy. But there's nothing evil.
But you see, some people hide themselves into prayer.
Exactly.
So therapists help you open up.
They open up.
Now when we open up to each other most of the times in the Christian fraternity, we always judge each other instead. And I feel like that's something that we haven't really worked on in our field. Hopefully, who knows? The generations are changing. Now people are more open and all that. And even the meditation, some people are against it, but it's about how you do it, I think.
Exactly, how you do it.
But we still don't have meditation sessions
for Christians.
We don't have.
Yeah, because the church literally doesn't believe in. We've only focused on one thing: pray and fasting. It is okay to pray. There are situations where deliverance is needed, and those you just have to deal with.
But you don't get delivered for the whole year.
Yeah, like the things you need to deal with case by case. Not everything is the same. Because therapy will deal with the things in your heart.
There is character.
Exactly.
You can't pray.
You can't pray character.
No, you develop it, you grow it. Yeah.
But that is where we are.
But look at where we are right now. I think for me, even the journey of discovery, and why I love your journey is sometimes I see your posts on Instagram, then I see myself like 3 years ago, and I'm like, wow, I'm so happy for where she's going. Because at the end of the day, when you discover yourself by yourself, it's very fulfilling. Sometimes you enter places, let's say churches, and you hear somebody preaching, and you're like, this is not aligning with me. And you're okay to walk away and say, maybe it will align with another person. Yes. So it was more about you dealing with
like, when I stopped the therapy, I now went back to God.
You're like, this is my God, therapist.
The Holy Spirit. You said the Holy Spirit is our helper, and He teaches us all things. So now I am going to sit under here until you show me the things in my heart and how to deal with them. I remember, I think that was November 2023 when the journey started. I remember, there's a friend of mine who would pray together, Sarah. That girl has been like my unpaid therapist.
Lives in Dubai?
She lives in Uganda. She's the person I will have on call at 2 a.m. in the bathroom crying. I'm in Dubai 2 a.m. Okay. She has to stay on phone. I'm like, God, thank you for that lady. Thank you. Like, each time I go to God to thank people that have helped me on this journey, I include her name. Because she's at that point, the thing about healing is you cannot do it alone. You will need a hand.
You need support.
You will need someone who
Community.
understands you. You'll need someone who will say, okay, today you tried and failed, but let's pick up from here tomorrow. And like, I believe in you, you can do this. So I sat, and then I would ask God, and He would, honestly, God speaks, He would show me, you're angry, you have too much anger in your heart. And I'm like, God, no. Then it's like, you walk around in so much unforgiveness in your heart. I was like, God, I am not forgiving them. Like,
do you hear that small voice? You know when we say God speaks, people make it big, like, oh, how did He speak with you and all that. But you know that quiet place where you say, no, today I did so well. Then God says, that voice says, you didn't speak so well with this person. And you just see it right in the head and you're like, oof.
So I had those sessions. He would be like, you've been working in so much unforgiveness. And then I'd be like, but God, I forgive. And then He would like bring me, if it's a specific person, He would like bring back like mental images. And then you would feel the anger rise up in you. And then it's like, exactly.
You see?
That is what I'm telling you. And then the thing is, when those things are in, you walk around guarded. I have been a guarded person. Like I don't know how many.
You have all
layers.
your guards.
I have all my guards up. Like I walk into a place and I am already scanning in the room. Who can I talk to? Who looks like they
This
would
one
say
does not.
this one? And then it's like sometimes you're missing out your divine helpers because you are so guarded.
Yes. All right, that's quite a journey, and thanks really for sharing. How's your son?
He's fine. He's a happy growing man.
Happy growing man.
Yeah.
What do you feel mostly proud of him?
Oh, a lot of things. Like the fact that I can say that I have a son and seeing him there, and I think he's like the happiest child.
Okay.
He's like really the opposite of me, because sometimes I come off as the tough one, like the tough face.
Maybe those are the guards you
Yeah,
were
those are
talking
the
about.
guards I had. Like
I am the tough one.
I am the tough one, and I am mainly an introvert, but then I also realize I'm actually an introvert because I use it as a protection tool for myself.
How do you feel about saying no?
I am a recovering people pleaser. I know that will shock people because they know like if they think like it's not easy to walk over me, but silently I pleased people. Like I would do stuff to just please people. So I am recovering.
How are you recovering?
One of the things I am doing is to learn to, like, it's okay to say no. I don't have to overstretch myself. If I can't come, I don't have to explain unless I really, really have to explain. But if I cannot show up for something, I'll tell you no, on this day I cannot. Maybe we try this day. Or if you ask me to do something and I know it's overstretching, I'll tell you no, I cannot do this.
So when you have friends and you say no, and your friends go, how do you feel? Have you had that experience?
Yes. And at first it would bother me, but now it doesn't. If I know I communicated, and if I had to explain and I explained and you still don't get it, then if you're going, it's okay. It's on you. It's not on me. I did my part. You're not being accommodative, and there's nothing I can do about that. Like, that's on you.
Are you scared of losing friends?
That's a hard one. It's not. Some friends, yes. Some, the ones that like have really been friends, like in the sense of the word friendship. And I'm like, okay, did I do anything wrong? Is it something we could resolve? But there are friends that I'm like, okay. I like evaluate. Were we adding anything to each other? Were we helping each other grow? Where was this friendship going? If all the things are marking down, can I see you go? You go your way, I go my way. And
I like the fact that you said, were we adding anything to each other. Sometimes people are like, what are you adding on me?
Yeah.
It's more like, what are you adding on me? So it's about you. With friendships, relationships, it's more about adding to each other.
It's a two-way traffic.
It's a two-way traffic, definitely. What are the steps that you took in your journey of self-discovery that you feel now they have brought you to this journey?
One is admit.
Accept.
Recognize and accept that there's something broken somewhere. It's not always about the other person. There is also the part that you played and that you still. So recognize that, admit. That is number one. Once you've done that, then you've started the journey now.
That's right.
So then now go down and find out. Ask the conversations I said, sit with yourself. Bring up scenarios that maybe things that have hurt you, things that have broken, or conversations you feel like, the way I reacted wasn't right. So ask yourself, what is wrong here? What did I do wrong? Or what went wrong? It could be from you or from the other person, and the way you responded is the problem. So you ask yourself, okay, am I an unforgiving person? Because for me, that some of the things I had to deal with was I was walking around with so much anger. I was too guarded. I had so many walls around me. And then I didn't believe in myself. So yeah, accept, recognize what is broken, get help.
Get help.
Get help.
Get support.
Get support. If you can afford therapy is expensive. At the moment, it is still expensive. But I think the institutions that do free sessions. But if you can get into therapy, get into it. Get support. You will have friends around you that are doing better than you, not financially, though that also helps, but
they will put you into that place.
Yeah, they see things more different than you. They've probably gone through that journey and they can help. You cannot do it alone. You will not. You will fall back to the old habits.
Support.
Yeah. You will need support. Get support. Read. I know it's been said Africans have a poor reading culture.
If you want to hide something from an African, put it in writing.
But be the African that breaks that. Read, because when you read, it opens your mind. It
gives you different perspectives.
You get different, exactly. You get different perspectives. You will read about people that have been through the same things that you're dealing with, and you will pick things here and there that you can apply in your life and do better.
From your journey. Yeah, because I know that's a section of your journey. It's not like your whole life, but sometimes I usually tell people the best lessons are the ones that come from the situations you've been. What lessons did you pick out from you coming to Dubai, looking at having that situationship, but then you get a beautiful thing with your son? What lessons did you pick up?
The things you want exist out there. They are there. But you need to put in the work. And recognize what is hindering you from getting to that place that you want to get, and then work on that. And you will eventually get to where you want to go.
The things that you want are already there. And they're waiting for you.
They're waiting for it on the other side of your
life. Like I say, when you look at comfort versus discomfort, I always say life is on the other side of discomfort. Sometimes we think things are going to find us in our comfort zone, but sometimes no. It's on the other side actually that you're scared. The other side of fear, that's where life is.
And also learn to treat your ugly experiences, if that is the word to use, the not so good moments in your life. Don't just look at them with the lenses of I just need to get over this and move on. What did they teach you?
Yes. What did
you learn from this? What can you apply that you can use in the next? Because life is a circle. That situation may come around, but in a different kind of setting.
It's about challenging.
Yeah. So if you didn't pick any lessons from the previous one, you're going to
go back. I agree.
So you'll keep going back to square one, which doesn't make sense. So, yes, it hurt. It was bad. Yeah, cry. If you need to cry, cry. And after crying, what did this teach me? What did I learn from this? So learn to pick out whatever positive thing that you can find in that situation and carry that lesson with you. You don't know when you will need it.
Yeah, I think
Also that lesson of learn, it's okay to embrace your emotions. Sometimes, especially in the church setting, if you're telling people I'm feeling angry, they'll say bind the spirit of anger, bind the spirit of this.
You need deliverance.
You need to embrace. Don't live in those emotions for long.
I know why you're angry actually.
Know why you're angry and accept. In my heart, there's anger. Why is the anger there? Then deal with it, weed it out. And no one is coming to save you. No one.
Only you can
Only
save.
you can save yourself. Even with God, God gives, there is faith, but if you don't add actions to your faith, it's just going to stay in the state of faith. So yes, you have issues. God will heal you. God can heal you supernaturally, but are you even admitting that you have issues? No. So how is the healing going to come?
No one is saving you.
No one is coming to save you.
You can save yourself.
Save yourself.
I'm so proud of your journey and thank you for sharing. What's next for you?
Start marketing myself.
I love that.
Because I feel.
Do you know people don't like that?
Yeah, they feel like maybe they say you're proud or anything, but you're your own salesperson.
Marketing manager, you're your own PR.
You're your own PR, you're your own salesperson. So people will only talk it down to the level with which you allow.
I think I learned that in the corporate world. It's the constant story you tell yourself. If you are to talk to your past self, what would you tell that person from the experiences that you've shared?
It's okay to be vulnerable. Let people in. Not everyone is out to get you. So some things can be avoided if you let in people on what's actually happening. Because you will get advice. Someone will say, no, don't go there, don't do this. But when you isolate yourself, a lot happens. When you're in, they say the devil loves an idle mind or something like that. So when you're isolated, a lot happens. So you're your own lawyer, you're the judge, you're deciding everything for yourself, but someone else might have an idea that will save you from a lot. Yeah. It's okay to be vulnerable. The other thing is believe in yourself. You know, that same energy, that same passion that you put into other people,
Put it in yourself.
turn it back to you.
Yeah.
You have so much potential. There's so much potential that you're just sitting on because you don't want to believe in yourself. So turn, because if you can believe in someone else, meaning it's within you to believe also in yourself. So turn back that attention to yourself and just put yourself out there. What if it works out?
What if it works out? That is the word that we are closing with. And if you've been listening to this whole story, and I'm very sure by the time you're here and you're still here, I'm sure you love the content. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, leave a like. What if you had to go to your younger self? What would you tell yourself? And what lesson have you picked out? Please share, and thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
And we know that we are going to have you again. Now is the start. Now the engine has started, right? The whole food you've been cooking, it's the time now to eat it. And I'm sure with time we shall bring you back to Magma Treasures. And that time we will look at the treasures that you've got from that magma, that fire that you went through. But thanks for coming, and good to have you.
Good to have. Thank you for having me.
I know.
See you.
Design the life you love with Magma Treasures.